A very good evening to one and all present in the GIBS Talk Law Season 1 on the theme Demystifying Law Courses being organized by the Center for Legal Studies, Geeta Ratan International Business School. And on behalf of CLS GIBS, I, Kavya Buddhiraja, Vice President, Legal Aid Cell, extend a warm welcome to you all in the first episode of GIBS Talk Law Season 1 on the topic 5 years integrated course or 3 years LLB. Which one has better options? And I'm truly honored to announce that we have been graced by the presence of Professor Dr. Srikrishna Deva, Honorable Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Delhi. Thank you so much, sir. A warm welcome to you. Thank you for kindly accepting our invitation. Warm welcome to you, sir. So with your kind permission, sir, shall we begin with the event?
Please proceed.
Thank you so much, sir. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Suryakoti Samaprabha, Nirvikhnam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Which means, O Lord Ganesha, my humble prostrations to you, who is an embodiment of all wishes. Remembering you, I begin my studies, so that your grace and blessings shall bring success always. It is always auspicious to begin every event by glorifying Lord Ganesha. So with the blessings and support of our Honorable Chairman Sir, Shri R.N. Jindal, let us all invoke Lord Ganesha by singing his Vandana together. Well, that was a wonderful start. Geeta Ratan International Business School was established in the year 2004. GIBS is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, and is also approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India for Technical Programs, and Bar Council of India for Law Programs. The institute has been accredited as Category A by NAC in its second cycle, and as Category A+ by State Fee Regulatory Committee. Also, it has been rated the highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of NCT of Delhi and Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. GIBS has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. It has also been rated number 2 twice by the Times B School Survey. The institute conducts various programs under the head of MBA, MBA International Business, BBA, BBA LLB, as well as BA LLB. After the grand success of the GIBS Talks of Management, which started in the year 2020, we are proud to launch the GIBS Talk Law Season 1 on the theme, as we all know, demystifying the law courses. We are really proud doing that. Now, GIBS Talk Law is an online platform structured to discuss and showcase the main theme related to law, wherein there will be 3 episodes in each season, focusing upon the 3 sub-themes of this, the talk of law. Each episode will comprise of 60 minutes wherein an eminent personality will be enlightening all of us on one topic. This 1 hour session is intended to be bifurcated into 2 parts, wherein the first 40 minutes will be focused on the views as well as the opinions of the guest, and the later 20 minutes will be the question and answer session, wherein the audience will be asking direct questions from a distinguished guest. And the show will be aired on our channels every Sunday. GIBS Talks Law on Demystifying Law courses caters to understand, analyze, and evaluate the current legal education system in India. This aims to understand the scope in the stream of law in the present education system. This ultimately leads to felicitating the legal pedagogical decisions with respect to the needs as well as the objectives with which a student enrolls in the law program in India. Now, let me take this wonderful opportunity to welcome and introduce our esteemed and distinguished chief guest for today's session, Professor Dr. Srikrishna Deva. He's an eminent teacher and scholar in criminal law and access to justice. Professor Rao is currently the Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Delhi since September 2020 and has also served as the Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Odisha for the term of 6 years. Professor Rao is a Fulbright Nehru alumni. He was a visiting fellow at the University of Washington, Seattle in 2012, and also the School of Oriental and African Studies, London in the year 2013. Professor Rao received the highest award in the field of criminology, known as Kumarappa Reckless Award, for his outstanding contribution in criminal justice education in India by the Indian Society of Criminology, Chennai, in February 2020. He was the chairman of the Committee for Reforms in Criminal Laws constituted by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. He was a member of the UGC Expert Committee in Law to restructure the legal education in our country. He's also the member of the Delhi High Court Legal Services Committee. Sir, it is indeed our honor and our privilege to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for kindly accepting our invitation. A very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Director, Sir, Professor Dr. Hanuman Sharma, to kindly welcome our distinguished guest, Professor Dr. Srikrishna Deva, Honorable Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Delhi. Over to you, sir.
Okay, Kavya, there is a slight change since our director, sir, is not able to join due to the technical difficulties. I, Vice Chairman Anirudh Jindal of Geeta Ratan Educational Group, would like to welcome Professor Deva. Good evening, sir, and good evening to everyone. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. I would like to extend my hearty welcome to Professor Dr. Srikrishna Deva, Honorable Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Delhi, all the brilliant participants, and our Chairman, Shri R.N. Jindal, Academic Dean Prachi Jindal, Director, Sir, HOD Law, and my fellow teachers and students. Geeta Ratan hosted its first season of the Talks Law and to be hosted today here at is turned into ashes. GIBS Law provide a platform to the students. They can get a better understanding of law with the. Before we get started, I would like to all of you who have gained your event is up. I'll hand over the dice to the anchor.
Thank you so much, sir. It is always a pleasure to hear you, especially in the beginning of any event. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to request Professor Rao to kindly enlighten all of us on the topic 5 years integrated course or 3 years LLB course. Which one has better options? And the audience can also ask their questions in the comment section below, if they have any. Over to you, sir, please.
Thank you. Sri Anirudh Jindal, Vice Chairman, Geeta Ratan International Business School, Dr. B.K. Yadav, Head of the Department, all the teachers, Kavya, my dear young students from the Center for Legal Studies, Geeta Ratan International Business School in Delhi. I am honored and privileged today to interact with you on this occasion of GIBS Talk, Law Season 1. The topic is very contemporary, but of course, it has been much debated. 1980s was the discussion in the legal education in India. What is the best form and method of professional legal education? Why there is a decline in the standards of the legal education? That was 80s, 70s, 80s, particularly 1980s was an intensive debate in India. How do we bring back the glorious days of legal education? But I appreciate and congratulate the Geeta Ratan International Business School, the Center for Legal Studies for selecting this theme. I also congratulate all the students, those who have opted to join law. Law is something like a world of creative and exploratory learning, fascinating, and that will change the student, those who join the law. Most of the students I know in the 5 years you have currently, you're offering 5 years. They will spend most of the challenging days of the precious and prime life for the next 5 years if they have started, or they are in the second year, another 3 years. Law is something which is not just people call as a holistic branch of knowledge, but law gives an opportunity for the students to engage with ideas, immerse in the universe of ideas. That makes legal education truly holistic, experiential, and enjoyable. Usually, we call that legal education, and when the students join in the first year, this is a general question we ask all the students. Why did you study the law? Or which prompted you? What do you want to, what is your aim of life? So we generally come across several types of the answers from the students. Some students will say, we are fascinated by the Bollywood movie attraction of the courtroom scenes, or similar type of experiences in other parts of the India. Of course, that's one. Some people really think I wanted to provide justice. You get several types of the answers. The impressionable age, if they are fortunate enough, if their parents are well educated, if they come from a good background, they know the direction in which they have to move. But generally, legal education, the aim and objective of the legal education, whether it's a 5-year LLB or 3-year LLB, is to prepare students to think like a lawyer. And not just only to think like a lawyer, but how to speak the language of the law. That's what important. And law school, as I already said, offers a unique experience to each one of the students. And law is not like a mathematical problem or a sportsman's game. The aim and purpose of law is a relentless justice. You have to forgive me for my bias towards 5-year law program, because my engagement and involvement of over 3 decades is with 5-year LLB program. We are fortunate enough to start teaching career with the National Law School, Bangalore, way back in 1990, under the mentorship of the Pitamaha of legal education, Professor N.R. Madhavamenan. And that was a truly wonderful time when there was only one national law school in India, that what we call as a Harvard of the East. Everybody was thinking of experimenting. That was the time. And then with my experience in the National Law School, Bangalore, later with Nalsar, Hyderabad as a founding faculty for 6 years, then as a founding dean at the Gujarat National Law University, Gandhinagar, then with the NLU Delhi, NLU Odisha. So you have to forgive me for my bias that with the 5-year integrated program, but I know the merits of the 3-year program. I have born out of the 3-year law program. And many of the judges, those who are sitting retired in India, and several of the eminent jurists and eminent lawyers, they are all from the 3-year law background. But I'll come back to that. How do we weigh the scales of the legal education, whether 5-year or 3-year? Let me come back a little later. The idea and concept of professional legal education. This is a very fond, very memorable term Professor Madhavamenan passionately used to mention whenever 5-year law program comes. Professional legal education. Please undermark the word. That was the discussion in 1980s. Is 3 years a professional legal education or a 5 years a professional legal education? How do we bring back the lawyering skills into the legal education? How do we really make them to think like a lawyer, speak the language of the law, learn the legal skills? Of course, we all know whatever they learn in the classroom is mere a bookish knowledge, but it is important. But you learn when you start practicing. So be that as it may, but the idea and concept of professional legal education has brought the 5-year law programs into India on the model of IITs, Indian Institutes of Technologies in India are known for engineering. You see, look at that. They are single faculty, only engineering universities or engineering institutions. Of course, they are not universities. They were initially, they used to give degrees by the respective universities, and later they became autonomous. But the autonomy and single faculty, the national law schools have borrowed from the Indian Institute of Technologies. So then they thought about 4-year may not be sufficient time. Let's look at a 5-year integrated law program. The 5-year integrated law program has really transformed legal education. However, 3-year LLB program has also achieved its aims and purposes. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Let me start with 2 stories of legal education which are useful to both, whether 5-year or 3-year LLBs. The first one is the story of Bapuji, the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhiji. How legal education had transformed Bapuji. Second is about a letter written by eminent judge of the American Supreme Court, Justice Felix Frankfurter, to a student who is interested to study law. Let me start with the story of Gandhiji. Law changed, particularly in the case of Bapuji. It changed his entire life pattern. After went to London at the age of 18 years and spent later part of 2 decades in practicing law in South Africa. So the education in London, practice in South Africa has completely changed Gandhiji, who was very introvert. He was unable to speak. And you could see how he has become an experiment in the nonviolence all over the world, and how he was responsible and instrumental in bringing the freedom movement and resulted in the independent India. So uh, Gandhiji returned home at the age of 45 years and is completely different man altogether. Law not only transformed Gandhiji's personality, it offered him a laboratory for creating his philosophy of non-violent civil disobedience. He was fiercely independent. I think I would like to suggest to all students, I think we must cultivate this habit of fiercely independent. And Gandhiji, in the way Gandhiji has reinterpreted the political legal legacy in the Indian context. The second story is about Justice Frankfurter. I think some student in America who wrote a letter to Justice Felix Frankfurter asking for his views. He wanted to study law, just a young student who is interested to study law. Look at what Justice Felix Frankfurter answered. The best way to prepare for law is to be a well-read person. I think that's the first quality of a law student, whether a 5-year or 3-year. पढ़ना है, पढ़ने के बिना और कुछ नहीं है. That's the first one. So, well-read person. This alone can develop the capacity to use English language on paper and in speech with habit of clear thinking. That's what the law school prepares. How to think clearly, how to write clearly. That's the difference between a lawyer and somebody who is non-lawyer. That's the legal training. So Felix Frankfurter is right. Law students should be a well-read person. They should speak because the legal profession, English language is very important. So not only speaking, writing, listening, and reflection. These are all very important. No less important for a lawyer is to cultivation of imaginative faculties. He further says, Frankfurter, what he says, not just only about English language and reading, but what is required is read poetry, see great paintings, listen to great music, stock your mind with the deposit of good reading, widen, deepen your feelings by experiencing wonderful mysteries of the universe. That is what the all-round personality the students will acquire when they study the law. I think these two the first stories will help you to think what exactly is an ideal law student. Let me next come to the history of the legal education in India. Legal education in India has primarily 5 or 6 different phases. The first phase of legal education is when India has become an independent. 1950 to 1965, it is the first phase of legal education where the legal education is trying to transform from a colonial heritage and establishing the Indian identity. The second phase is 1965 to 1975. That's where the legal education was trying to move towards professional legal education. Some of you may be aware when the law program LLB was started, it was a 2-year LLB program. But within the 2 years, most of the time it may be evening colleges, sometimes in the day college. But even in the 2 years LLB, it was very effective in the teaching. And the olden time, the judges of this are the senior advocates. They used to come to the law college and deliver the lectures. So that's a tradition. In fact, that continued in some states, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra. Even for the elevation to a lawyer, to a judgeship, they used to think about you must teach in a law college. So that is completely missing in the modern times. So that was the time LLB 2-year was started, and they were thinking a third phase is a very interesting phase, 1976 to 1987, that people call as a modernization of law school curriculum, increasing relevance to social problems through law and society and law and poverty studies. This is also true in the United States, UK, Australia, and several other countries. Modernization of the curriculum. That was the time in 1980s, intense debate of how do we bring back the glory of the legal profession in India. You know, you name anybody in India or abroad, those who are the great people, whether they are the presidents or you name anybody in the governance structure, modern governance structure, most of them are lawyers. We have just seen the president of India currently, the new president may be going to come up, who was a lawyer. And the new forthcoming vice president is also a lawyer. So look at lawyer and legal education adds wherever you go. So that was the glory that was in 1980s, thinking about modernization. That was an experiment in 1985. Bar Council of India, great legendary lawyers, Ramjet Malani, that time we are ready. Several of the legendary lawyers, they were instrumental at that time in 1985, bringing back. They were looking about setting up of a law school. And fortunately, Ramakrishna Hegde was a chief minister of Karnataka at that time. He offered a land. He said, whatever you want, I'll provide you. That's how the first National Law School was established in the Bangalore National Law School of India University. 87 it started, 88 it offered the first 5-year law program. So the establishment of National Law School Bangalore in 1988 is a trend setter for legal education in India. The fourth phase is the impact of National Law School on legal education in India that led to the Chief Justices Conference and Law Ministers Conference. 1993 Chief Justices, all Chief Justices Conference and Law Ministers Conference in 1995, they were thinking, how do we replicate National Law School model all over India? That's how in 1998, 2 law schools came, Bhopal first, then Hyderabad later. There's a controversy. People say Hyderabad is second, Bhopal, but let's not go into that. But 1998, 2 law school came on the model of NLS Bangalore. Then later on, you have several law schools started coming. I don't know, somebody has to count. It's now almost all mushrooming of national law schools also, 23, 24, 25, and other. The fifth is the ongoing phase of reflection of quality. Now what is required is quality legal education, research, and also internationalization, interdisciplinarity, everything. I think some of you have seen just 2 days ago, the National Institute of Ranking Framework has come out, and then how they have rated, how it is really going to impact. And that's going to be, we are fortunate that National Law University Delhi, even though is established 2008, was maintained last 5 years as the number 2. And of course, the National Law School Bangalore, because we all have started our teaching career with the Bangalore. Bangalore has sustained and continued as that. So fifth ongoing is quality legal education, research, interdisciplinarity, professionalism, and then also looking at technology, digital infrastructure, intellectual infrastructure, interdisciplinarity, all these are going to be come up, and the digital university is going to be set up in Delhi very soon. Many international universities will come up there and set up their campuses in India in the coming year. This is a wonderful opportunity for all universities and education. No compromise on excellence and quality. Last part, third part, I wanted to look at 7 suggestions, 7 mantras I wanted to just explain for all the students. Friends, legal education is interdisciplinary, international, and interprofessional. That is the what I called as a 5th ongoing phase. Legal education is not just only about law. In fact, the 5-year law program first time experimented what NEP 2020 is now mentioning about interdisciplinarity. The first experiment of the Bangalore, which is replicated by all other law schools, is how do you integrate social sciences into the law? Political science, sociology, economics, history. So that was the interdisciplinarity. Now, interprofessional. Law, as a lawyer, when you argue a case, any case which comes up relating to science, technology, engineering, something which is which you have not studied anyway. So therefore, interprofessionalism is also important. The legal education, the future legal education, next 20 years, the American law schools and all others are forecasting that technology, management, finance, and accountancy will merge together. Even the law firms have to move towards that phase. That is what the forecast of the legal education. So therefore, legal education must be interdisciplinary, international, and interprofessional. Interprofessional because of the professions like medicine, engineering, science, and technology has to merge with the law in the coming years. Finance also is very important. Finally, we live in a global era marked by global markets, global connections, global governance, and global rights. So therefore, development requires incorporation of global elements into our existing legal education. So let me start with 7 simple mantras. First one is intensive and rigorous learning. Listen generously, read voraciously, and reflect deeply. Reading, thinking, speaking, reflecting, and writing are essential skills of law students. I must say, this is more in the 5-year law program because of the duration which is available, because some of the 5-year law programs started in the concept of a residential university. So therefore, you will stay in the campus, you spend time in the library, you discuss with the teachers, and that's where it is more intensive and rigorous. And 5-year LLB also have projects, moods, debating, and several other. So that is the first one. Second is about holistic learning. When we study not only the text, the act, or a book, or something which is a case, but also the context and perspective of this. That is the holistic learning. When we read an article or a case or a rule multiple times, and I would advise all the students, please do not miss any lecture. Attend the lectures, take notes, analyze, and develop your own perspective. There's nothing like a left, center, and right. Each student has to develop their own perspective, discuss, debate, and think. That's what is required. When you pass out of the law college, when you join in the legal profession, you have to argue. You should have your own ideas. You don't borrow anybody's ideas. That is what is the legal education. And 5 years is more challenging in that. Of course, 3 years also has come out and clearly demonstrated. 3-year students, those who have studied, are also some of the best lawyers and judges. Thirdly, patience and curiosity to learn. The study of law requires a lot of patience and immersive attention. And don't just limit to what the teacher teaches in the class. You have to go back, sit in the library. In fact, the tradition in the law schools which made the best training is reading the original text of the case. Don't read, somebody has said about this. Read the full case. Read the original excerpts in the book. Then you will understand. So patience and curiosity to learn is very important. And then only you will be able to uncover and comprehend the numerous nuances in law in its different dimensions. The eminent lawyer Nani Palkiwala always used to say, I quote, the two marks of a truly educated person whose understanding has been enlightened is capacity to think clearly and intellectual curiosity. These are the two Nani Palkiwala says, which is important. When will you get? When you have curiosity to learn. Fourthly, experiential learning. Learning is not mere bookish knowledge, dissociated from everyday form of life. Rabindranath Tagore, Aurobindo, Jiddu Krishnamurti emphasized on experiential learning. It encourages learning from life experiences, co-curricular activities, legal aid services clinic, moods, debating, anything which is generally we don't call as a extracurricular, but is a part of the curriculum, co-curricular activities. It is more so in the 5-year law program. 1997, we were all instrumental in the National Law School, Bangalore, in the requesting the Bar Council of India to incorporate 4 clinical courses. In 1997, Bar Council of India introduced these 4 clinical courses. That is a purpose to encourage the students towards experiential learning. Fifthly, casebook method of teaching. There's an American casebook method, Delhi University and several universities have been using for many years. That is one of the best method of teaching. That enjoy learning the law through the case method. It's like a storytelling and looking at the statue, learn from the teachers. Teacher plays a very crucial role in the learning. Law is nothing but what court decides. So you need to look at both the act, judicial decision, and contemporary context. Relate all these 3 together and interpret, analyze. Then you will become the best law students. Students study cases and analyze what judges have said. And that will really, as I said, if you read the original case, then you will understand what are the facts in this case, why the Supreme Court decided, why the High Court decided like this, why not like that, what are the precedents they have used, why did they use. But don't stop there. Question why this Supreme Court decided like this. But it should be based on a objectivity, reasoning, and further reading and looking at the contemporary jurisprudence from all over the world. Sixthly, cultivate virtues of a good human being, develop professional conduct and ethics. Honesty, sincerity, simplicity, humility, generosity, absence of vanity. These are all important virtues, not only conventional, modern, and the days to come, even the metaverse era also. These are all the important, simple virtues which will make a student as a good human being. Work on your interest, writing, leadership, student societies, moods, debating, music and dance, literature, poetry, public service. I think all this will make you as a good law student. Lastly, discipline and hard work. There's no substitute to hard work in life. Hard work, more hard work, some more hard work. Absolutely, there's nothing. There's no ready-made formula of success. Hard work, still more hard work, and still more hard work. And that's what Professor N.R. Madhav Menon always used to say. There's no substitute for hard work in life. The initial days of 90 to 95, when the initial formative years of NLS Bangalore, when I was working as a teacher, 5 years, he has not given me any holiday. In fact, my friends in Delhi used to say, what is this? This is like a slavery, they used to say. But we used to say work ethics. You should not be like that also. Some vacation should be there, some Sundays be there. But that's what his intention is to that professional legal education. And you have to read. What Professor Menon always used to say, what is required for a teacher? Ek chair, ek table, ek small window, kuli hawa asman. That's what. Think, read, write, and reflect. I think this is what makes is a discipline and hard work is very important for the students and the teacher. I still remember my first batch of Nalsar, Hyderabad in 1998. That's the first time when we started in 1998. Two students, I don't want to name, two students who joined, they were not able to speak in English. You know, after joining the law school, they used to go for English tuition. And that girl now cleared the UK bar exam and practice in UK. Another student has cleared the New York bar exam and they are doing every time is pado, pado, pado. That's all they used to do. And they are remarkable. I used to tell them, my benchmark is these two students. Those who are unable to speak in English, how hard work they have put and they have succeeded in the life. And maybe in the years to come, as the NLS Bangalore students started becoming the senior advocates in the Supreme Court, and one is the Additional Solicitor General of India. They have started becoming the judges in the various high courts in India. Maybe some of them will become also established the leading lawyers in UK, US, and several other. All this has happened because of this several things. But these 7 mantras will help. I wish you all every success in the exciting journey of learning the law. I think I have taken too much time. Now let's look at any questions and other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was such a remarkable session. And I personally believe like all the phases that you have given us and, through which you have shown us the reflection of the legal education system in India, and especially those mantras for the students like me, that was very, very valuable, sir. Your words were really like gem pebble for all of us. Thank you so much, sir. It was such a knowledgeable session. Now, to begin with the question and answer session, I would like to inform you that we had received more than 1,000 questions as submitted by different stakeholders at the time of their registration. And I also believe that all of you would love getting all your queries answered by sir. However, due to paucity of time, we are placing only the most frequently asked questions before Professor Rao in order to have a maximum area of coverage. So with your kind permission, sir, shall we begin with the questions now?
Sure, please.
All right. So moving with the first question. The first question is, it has been asked by a CLAT aspirant, Mahima. She asks, in terms of people you study with, a 3-year course has comparatively more mature students as compared to a 5-year course. Now, law is something that you can also learn from experience as well as from textbooks. Now, in this particular context, should one prefer a 3-year law program or a 5-year integrated law course?
I think as I started, both have its advantages. If you are 10 plus 2, you should join the 5-year law. If you have completed your graduation, then you should not come to 5-year, go to the 3 years. I have seen over the years, the students, those who have studied engineering and medicine and computer science are coming into the law. So both have its advantages. I don't suggest that the experience of 3 years definitely will help. because they have a strong base of the graduation 3 years, but 5 years gives supplements the lawyering skills, and that the 5 years integrated law program is more advantageous. But I leave it to the individual students to decide. If 12th pass, 5 year. If graduation, 3 year would be ideal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on with the next question, which has been asked by a law researcher named Naman. He asks, completing a 3-year course allows for quicker integration into the work environment. So why should one prefer 2 more years of studying law? So ultimately it was like 3-year law course. Why are we adding 2 more years to that?
3 years or 5 years, you just learn only the concepts of law. What really matters is when you start practice. I have seen several of the law firms, when they take the students, they say that we don't want your knowledge. What we need is a research. Can you research? Can you write a brief? So that gives, 5 years gives a lot of advantage. In fact, in 5 years, some of the law schools, they insist on every semester write a research paper. So that writing of the research paper will develop. So that advantage may not be there in the 3 year. But however, both have to learn the real practical skills of lawyering only when they're coming to the profession. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was well answered. Moving on to the next question. Could you please have it on the screen? So the next question has been asked by Vikram Ahuja, who's a student. He asks, as someone changing my stream after graduating from school, which course should I take since I have already spent 2 years pursuing another course degree? So I believe that his question is that he wants to switch. So your take on this, sir?
I have seen the getting admission in NLUs is very tough. Some students spend 2 years. So I would advise Vikram, take a chance. If you get into Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, I would consider, please forgive me if I have said anything wrong. I am not degrading any other law schools or giving preference, but these are the 3, the best law schools. Even if you get after 2 years, you must do. Otherwise, forget about, continue your law wherever you study. Even a BA is good, and then come back to 3-year LLB. And IIT Kharagpur experiment is one of the best experiment. It is only 3-year LLB in intellectual property for the engineering students. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by an existing LLB student, Sharanya Malhotra. She asks, except the diversity of subjects in a 5-year integrated law course, what other advantages does it have over a 3-year course? So, sir, I think that you've already spoken about it, but still, if you want to comment anything, sir.
5 years, you have 4th and 5th year several elective courses that may not be available in the 3 years course. 3 years course, very few courses they study, 3-year LLB program. Whereas in the 5-year, variety of courses are available. Clinical, legal education, experiential learning will be more on the 5-year, and the focus on learning the lawyering skills. I think that's the advantage.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Especially the experiential learning part. I think there's a very little scope when you go for a 3-year law program. There's a very little scope for that. So next question is, if I am not sure on the specific sphere of law for me, then is it worth doing a 5-year course? This question is coming from an LLB student, Manika Sharma.
I wanted to know, Manika is in which year? 1st year? 2nd year? Okay.
Manika is the 1st year.
1st year. I know 1st year, it's still just if she has completed 1st year, maybe she may take another 1 year to think about it. You should go by what your heart says, not what others will say. If you ask any student, say, I wanted to become a corporate lawyer, I wanted to become an intellectual property lawyer, without understanding what exactly is the corporate law, whether you can get immediately the chance to practice in that. And so it depends on several permutations and combinations. I would suggest the student should think after 2 years, think about it, and then decide. First decision they have to take, not about the sphere of law, but because neither 3 year nor 5 year will make them a specialized lawyers. Okay, that's impossible. But they should think about whether they are interested in coming into litigation first. Always, this is one of the criticism of all legal education, where 3 year or 5 year, all of them, very few are coming into the legal profession in the litigation. Most of them going into the law firms, companies, and other. But they are also true. We will not impose our views on the student. They have to choose. And sometimes it is true that the law firm or a company experience really will help them. The same experience they will not get when they practice with a lawyer in a court. But there is a reverse trend which is happening. Student, they join the law firm and a company after 5 years. If they are very serious in coming back to litigation, they are coming back. They are resigning and coming back into that. Really will help. And also we need not only good lawyers, good judges, good leaders, good teachers, good researchers, good entrepreneurs, businessmen. Law provides several opportunities, not just only practicing before the court. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I believe this particular question must have helped, I believe, everyone over here, because as sir rightly mentioned, that it actually opens a lot of multifarious, diverse options for all of us. So it's actually a very good take on that. So the next question is coming from a CLAT aspirant. Her name is Kriti Arora, and she asks, it is said that LLB from a prestigious college is only appreciated in the industry, whereas a 5-year integrated law program is looked on more kindly in the legal world. Is there any truth to this statement?
I think sometimes it is true, because the brand name we call, why people will say IIT, IIM, and within the IIT, IIM, they will look at NIRF ranking, IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, other IITs there. But when you come into whether in your litigation or in your corporate law firm, they look at not just only the brand name, they also look at your skills, your research skills. How will you do your interview? Please remember, law firms, companies judge a student on merit and also personality. And there is an increasing trend. The law firms are not giving much importance to the topmost law schools, because uska sir pe chad gaya, arrogance aa gaya. They look at small law schools. No, there's a reverse trend which is happening. So they look at not only your knowledge, your skill, your appearance, how will you perform in your interview. All this will count. But of course, the brand name definitely will be there. No, we cannot. That is important. Yeah.
Yes, no, definitely. Now moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Sri Rajesh, who's a professor. And he asks, for students wishing to pursue first, either civil services or second, judiciary, which course should they prefer?
We are debating in NLU Delhi. Some of my colleagues will say, don't allow students to prepare for civil service when they are the students. Neither civil service nor judiciary. They should become a lawyer first. So my teachers, those are hardcore, hard task masters, will never allow, because you are not devoting full time. Don't think about preparing a civil service or judiciary when you are in the law school. Forget about that. But what you could do is, what other law schools, what NLU Delhi has said is, when you prepare a curriculum, you integrate even the civil service syllabus into your curriculum, but not just only teach only UPSC syllabus. You have to follow the Bar Council of India and more than Bar Council of India, but when you are doing, also introduce this. Of course, we need good civil servant, good judges, starting from a district court level and other places. But it is not the place. For when you are there in a 5 years, don't prepare on this. After you pass out, you prepare. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It's like staying focused on what you're doing will definitely make you the best person in that field. Moving on to the next question, sir. It has been asked by Ananya Tyagi, who's a researcher, and she asks, which course should a student pursue if their goal is to complete their master's after their graduation before entering the work field? So now we're talking about pursuing LLM after graduating from the law college. Without entering into the practicing field, we want to do LLM first. So which course, like, what should be the preference?
No, again, Ananya's question is very relevant. It depends upon your interest. Would you like to be an international trade lawyer, or whether you want to do masters abroad? Masters abroad, I would advise everyone. After law, you must go abroad, because that will give you how the international legal framework works. You learn many things when you move out of India. And the intensity rigor, the teacher, he gives you 100 pages to read or 200 pages, and next day if you come class, I say I have not read, he said get out of the class. Very intensive. 9-year LLM is very intensive. Like in India, you can take anything with this teacher. You can go anytime. They will not allow. You have to take time. You have to take appointment. You must read hundreds and thousands of pages, but that's the real training. You need to have that experience of studying abroad. That will really help. But it is as per your interest. What do you want to do? People will go to Oxford, Cambridge, and London School of Economics in UK, and several other, Warwick and several others are there. In the US, it depends upon which area you wanted to master and then continue later on. Is it intellectual property, corporate law, trade law, arbitration, commercial arbitration, and several other, constitutional. Yeah.
So another question is just popping into my mind, which is emanating from this question only. LLM from NLU in India or LLM from any abroad university? Which one would you prefer?
If you can afford, go outside in India. That would be really good. Otherwise, you can also look at good LLM in India is better. Then after that also you can go abroad. So it depends upon your affordability, because studying abroad is very difficult. Now we have seen that the budget all over the higher education all over the world is almost all shrinking. COVID has added several problems, and payment of fees is very high, and they don't give free education in outside India. So therefore, you have to decide the affordability, but it's worth going abroad for a 1-year LLM, and that will provide several new opportunities of learning.
Well said, sir. So this was something that we all wanted to know, actually. So moving on to the next question, it has been asked by an LLM student whose name is Ms. Neha Chaudhary, and she asked, what job opportunities are available after completing Masters in Law, except for the teaching profession, sir?
It depends upon the specialization. Of course, with LLM, they can come back to litigation, practice. And if they have a patent agent, trademark agent is one, if they are LLM in intellectual property, but they need to have engineering, BTech basically. So BTech, and then they are coming into intellectual property. And so that will provide, of course, continuing in the PhD is better. Again, going for PhD abroad, even IIT's PhD is really good. Some of the law schools is also very good. So research, teaching already is there, litigation is there, and some of the public sector institutes also, they provide an opportunity for them. Insolvency is really developing, insolvency and bankruptcy, and corporate law, even a law firm, even after LLM also law firm company opportunities are available. Yes.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. So, sir, due to paucity of time, as we're reaching towards the end of the session, we'll be taking one last question, sir. So, it has been asked by Rudra Abhishek, who's an assistant professor, Sri Rudra Abhishek. He asks, the subjects and academic term of 3-year students is stricter as compared to a 5-year integrated course. Does this affect the quality of the course or stress of the students?
I think stress of the student is much more higher in the 5-year integrated law program, particularly the first semester, second semester. I remember one of our student in NLU Delhi, she got that time in IIT Madras, St. Stephen's, NLU Delhi. She preferred joined here. After a month, she came, she said, it's confusing. I'm not able to understand what is tort law. And then we took, in fact, I personally discussed with her. Father also came. No, we wanted to leave. We will go to IIT Madras. Then I had a long session discussed. And now she is a IFS, I think somewhere in Hong Kong now.
Wow.
So that stress will be there initially. That stress and more will be there in the 5-year integrated program when compared to less in 3-year student, because the 5-year are just 12th pass, 18, 19. That's what I tell my teachers also, no, because they are just bache hai. So that angst more, it will be stress level will be there. When compared to 3-year, they are already 21. So I would say that more stress in the 5-year. So teachers have to play 5-year, not just a role of a teacher, master guruji bhi nahi. They have to counsel the students. After the class hours, you have to spend more time with the students. Not only that, their general issues and other issues, nobody is there. So therefore, there's a more responsibility on the teachers, particularly in the 5-year law. Thank you.
Thank you so
questions.
much, sir.
They always say questions. In fact, answers may be not good answers, but questions are always some of the best questions. Yeah.
So these were the perfect answers, because someone of your caliber, it's like very overwhelming for all of us to be sitting in front of you. It's actually was very knowledgeful, sir. Thank you so much for guiding us the way. Thank you, sir. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for clarifying actually all our doubts with crystal clear explanation. Thank you, sir. Now, I feel honored to inform you all that our Geeta Ratan family has been working very hard on a project from the last 6 months. This project is a video which depicts the insights, the vision, and the achievements of the Institute. And we feel extremely honored and privileged that we are launching this video in the gracious presence of Professor Dr. Srikrishna Deva Rao, Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Delhi. Professor Rao, with your kind permission, shall we launch the video now?
No, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir.
A promise is what you make to yourself. A promise to explore, innovate, and achieve. It's a driving force that leads you on a path of success. It's all about reshaping your skills, discovering your inspiration, and accelerating it further to uncover your inner potential. At GIBS, we sow the seeds of the global leader. the leaders who behold the power of influencing the world with their expertise and experience. Our vision is to develop business management and law professionals to provide intellectual, emotional, and psychological leadership. Considering these factors, we offer 5 significant courses that are divided into MBA, MBA International Business, BBA First and Second Shift in Department of Management, and BBA LLB Integrated, BA LLB Integrated in Center for Legal Studies.
In a dynamic and ever-changing world, the real challenge is to stay relevant. The skill that is most valued in post-pandemic era is creativity. It is the creative solutions that help us in facing challenges. Can creativity flourish within the boundaries of classroom teaching? I don't think so. We at GIBS create experiences that blur the boundaries between theoretical and practical knowledge. We believe in training professionals who can take decisions and bring positive changes. Come and experience the world with us, and let us together make your dream a reality.
We make sure that every student has access to grab all the opportunities that come their way. Here, you will witness diverse kinds of roles offered by companies in various sectors. A student-centric Industry Institute Partnership Cell, IIPC, brings corporate leaders and students on a common platform to be exposed to multiple opportunities in the professional world. The alumni portal of GIBS connects all the alumni on one single platform, ensuring we are connected wherever we go. We call it the unity of GIBS.
I personally believe professionalism is something which comes with the course of time, but faculty and the management of GIBS make sure with their entire curriculum, with their entire process, they involve a lot of personality development practices that they have done. I was able to see myself as a true professional, and that's kind of training they've given us throughout our course time duration, and even after that. In fact, if I talk about their placement cell, which I was a part of, I was a student coordinator of them. I was the first person I was placed, and then before my final exams were there, I was holding an offer.
We have different clubs and societies to nurture the talent, growth, and confidence of students.
Hi, my name is Kavya Buddhiraja and I'm pursuing law from Geeta Ratan International Business School, Delhi. The reason as to why I chose GIBS was because I was really fascinated looking at the ranking the college holds. GIBS is undoubtedly one of the top-notch colleges of GGSIP University, Delhi.
Round the year, intra-college and inter-college events are scheduled to give a platform to students to showcase their talent and release stress. These moments of cheer, celebration, and solidarity are what we treasure for our life. It's a promise of providing you everything at the finest. At GIBS, we don't teach, we create leaders of tomorrow.
Well, I really am left speechless. And I'm truly grateful to each and every member of our Geeta Ratan family who has given their time, their dedication into the making of this video. And I thank you all from the very, very, very bottom and all the curves of my heart for making this project come true. Thank you so much, everyone. I hereby request everyone to kindly fill in the feedback form, which will be shortly available in the chat box. Thank you. Now, moving forward, may I now request our Honorable Head of Department, Law, Professor Dr. B.K. Yadav, to kindly come forward and give a vote of thanks. Please, sir, over to you.
Honorable Chief Guest, sir, honorable authorities, teachers, and my dear students, this event would go down in the golden pages of the history of GIBS. Today, we successfully conclude our first episode of GIBS Talks So Law. I heartily show my gratitude towards our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Srikrishna Deva, Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Delhi, for enlightening the students and law aspirants. On behalf of Geeta Ratan International Business School, I express my heartfelt thanks to all our Chief Guest Chairman, R.N. Jindal sir, energetic Vice Chairman, Sri Anirudh Jindal sir, and Academic Dean, Prachi Jindal ma'am, for taking out their precious time and joining us throughout the event. I would like to thank all the participants who have made this event a huge success with their participation. I would also like to thank the organizing team, as well all the persons, those who have joined in this program to help us as a successful program. I am very much thankful to sir. He has explained everything in a very nice way. And he has explained all the questions in very right way for the students. So really, we are very grateful to sir. And the philosophy of sir was very clear. As Gandhiji has started his practice of law in South Africa, he has also started one school. So the teaching method or teaching ideology of Gandhiji was very famous and very applicable nowadays. New education policy has taken few points from there, and this policy has given opportunity for multiple entry and multiple exist also. I'm very much fan of VC, Mr. Faizawan Mustafa sir. His words are very rightly said, and we are all agree with Professor Rao as our energetic Vice Chairman Sri Anirudh Jindal says, sir, that 60% of the course should be based on practical experiences. Teaching or only reading the sections and articles in the classroom is not the teaching. That's why we have focused our intention towards practical experiences. So most of the times our students are visiting different courts, different CDR system, different jails, or different industrial visits. So we focus on these types of practical experience, as other national law college, as sir has also introduced this practice in the university. So we are really very impressed with sir, and we are all grateful for sir that sir has managed this precious time and enlightened us. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you all the participants. And all participants, I would like to inform one thing, that we are going to provide you e-certificate for everyone. For this, registration is required. Those registered, they will get the participant for us. And secondly, very soon in next week, we have another episode. This is Law Season 1, Episode 2. So that was also held by sitting judge of Delhi High Court, Justice Anu Malhotra, Honorable High Court, New Delhi. So theme was legal education and judiciary service as a career. So it's my request for all the participants, please register yourself, those who are new, to get the e-certificates or to get the new knowledge like the resource person of Professor Rao. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, my law team and all the participants. Thank you very much. And parents and all the students from NLU Ranchi, NLU Sonipat, Central University, Dr. Harrison God University, Om Sterling Global University, even Bikaner, RNB Global Bikaner University, and other participants, researchers, teachers, students, those who have joined here. Really, I'm grateful for them. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a little request to all the participants to kindly fill in the feedback form, which is there in the comment section below. Thank you. So with this, we have come to an end of today's session. Indeed, I feel blessed to hear Professor Rao on the topic, and I believe that every attendee must have got immense information. Once again, I extend my sincere reverence on behalf of Center for Legal Studies, Geetha Ratan International Business School, to you, Professor Rao, for kindly agreeing to spend your precious time with us this lovely evening. Thank you so much. And I'm also thankful to all the attendees for kindly putting up through your provoking questions in the episode to make it even more vibrant. And I humbly request all of you to kindly rejoin us in the second episode of GIBS Talk Law Season 1, which is falling on the next Sunday, September 24th, 2022, at the same time, 6 p.m. sharp. The session would be chaired by Justice Anu Malhotra, Honorable Judge, Delhi High Court, as Yadav sir has already mentioned. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rao. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Everyone, please fill the feedback form. It's humble request to participants. Please fill the feedback form before leaving the meeting.